Hola, mate. Hola, senor. Yep. Look, I think a good flight. Yeah, it was a good flight. I think I'll take that one, and I'll take him as well. Yeah, gracias, mate. Gracias. Now, do I get a 2-for-1 discount or something?
Jarune, za tebe mi dijete diše, tu je važno samo jedno, nogomet i ništa više. Jarune.
Hey guys, I'm Aussie Villain, and welcome back to your Ruin on the Impossible Dream. It is Season 9, Episode 10 today. We have, we start with a big game, season-defining game even, against Osijek, and the second game, I think, is against Istra, but Osijek is the big one. I know there is so much to catch you up on. I think we've played 6 or 7 games, or even more, perhaps, and we've got some signings to catch you up on, and that is an Estudiantes. This is going to be our 3rd and 4th player we signed from. They're going to hate us, absolutely hate us, they are. So we signed 2 players. The first one is Christian Salvo here. He is coming for 6 million. We triggered a release fee of 6 million. And another one, the kid. Now, he is a mercenary. Mercenaries, typically, he won't be a problem until he wants to leave because he's a mercenary. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to keep him happy. If not, we've got a lot of centre-backs. It won't be a problem. Partly why I signed him is for 6 million. That is a bargain, and we will at least double our money, I would imagine, on him. So not an international in Argentina, for Argentina, but certainly someone who has the ability to maybe get there. Technically, he's maybe a little short. But certainly mentally and physically, he's very, very good. So that's the first signing. And the second signing that we've done from Estudiantes for this coming window, this summer, is Nicholas Monzolini. Now, if there's one thing or one position that we're really short on at the club, apart from centre-back, it is definitely striker. So that's why we've gone and signed another striker. 6.5 million we got him for really reasonable wages too, like 5 or 6 grand a week. I wasn't going to sign him, and it came down to, is he a very good player? And undoubtedly, I think the answer to that is yes. And also, for 6.5 million, I mean, I say we'll double the money on a defender. We could even quadruple the money on this guy, I think. So, 19 years old, not a wonder kid, but certainly somebody who is, I think anyway, very, very good. Has 12 goals in 28 appearances for Estudiantes' first side. And, yeah, I think he's going to do quite well, to be honest. So, that's that. And he could play as a number 10 as well, running at the defence. Good teamwork. I think Skoko might be coming towards the end with us, so he could very much sort of share that role with Siraj. So yeah, those are the 2 signings that we've made. Now, before we get to the catching up, we've got our youth intake that has happened. Now, it happened so long ago that I can only show you the guys that we signed, and I'll be honest, it wasn't a great youth intake. Yet another promising striker that has come through, which is why it was so crucial that we went and spent 6.5 million on another one. So yeah, he's here. He could do okay. Vanya Stremeke, I think we will pronounce that. So we'll see what we get out of him. 2 decent prospects. We've got a centre-back / right-back. I think he's a right-back, to be honest. I don't think he's a centre-back, is he? Maybe he is. We'll find out anyway. And a right-sided winger who is unambitious, so we need to get some mentoring going on him, and hopefully we'll get an okay winger, because we don't play with them anyway, so it doesn't really matter, does it? And then a couple of just pad out the number guys that might or might not make it. So yeah, as far as youth intakes go, I'd say far and away the worst one that we've had. Now, other thing to catch you up on is injuries, and we've had 1 or 2 really bad ones. And the worst of those, without a doubt, is Martin Palumbo, 6 to 9 months with a damaged cruciate ligament. He's 30. He just signed a new contract as well, didn't he? So, we wouldn't have done that. The concern with a 30-year-old that's done a cruciate ligament and is going to be out, he's missing the rest of this season and most of next season, is what sort of player do we get coming back? And well, there's going to be a big question mark about that, doesn't there? So we're not going to be able to sell him, obviously, while he's injured. And unfortunately, yeah, it's not unfortunate. He's been a very good player. I'm sure he'll continue to be a good player. Just very, very unfortunate injury and very, very unfortunate timing as well. So, yeah, that is all of that. Now, that's everything they're caught up on. Let's start the catch up on the games. You were, of course, fairly comfortable at the top of the table when I left you last. So let's start the catch up with our game against Variston. Matanovic put us ahead in the 90th minute. So honestly, this game was the worst game of football I have ever had to sit through until about the last 15 minutes. You can see there, midway through the second half or so, it started to kick into action, and either team, to be fair, could have won it, but Matanovic off the bench came up and got the big goal for us. So that was very important, I would say. Next up, it was Rijeka. We fell behind late in the second half, but Palumbo played in Kozayev to rescue a point in stoppage time. So I think a draw was probably fair. You can see on the XG tracker here, they really didn't create anything until they got their goal. And then they could have, to be honest, gone 2-0 up. We did rescue a point. We were good for a point, I think. Overall, as I said, a draw was more or less fair. So that's all good. And yeah, Kozayev off the bench. Just another one of our striking options that, desperately needed to be reinforced. So I think he could be off this season. But yeah, anyway. We've signed good players. I just want to sign good players. Next up, it was Dinamo. Now, we've had an amazing record against them recently. I don't think we've lost in like 6, 7, maybe even 8 games at this point. So let's go see if we could keep that run going. It's got to come to an end eventually, though, surely. Palumbo picked out Lako's run to give us a lead late on. And the run goes on. I love the defender's little late desperate jump trying to get his head to the ball. We've all been there, haven't we? If you played at the back, sort of Sunday League level, we've all done the desperate jump. It just made me laugh. Anyway, I can see myself, honestly. I can just see myself in there. We absolutely dominated the game. 66% possession. We probably should have won by many, many more goals, in truth. But as ever, we got the goal at the end. That's all that ultimately matters. And yeah, another good 3 points. Next up, it was Hajduk Split. We fell behind in the second half. And it was 2-0 moments later, before Torres pulled one back in stoppage time. So eventually we were going to pay the price for only scoring a goal in a game, and this was that game. It was really, really disappointing. We can't really argue too much. I know the match stats say that it was a fairly even game, that maybe you could argue we shaded, maybe you could argue that that they shaded, but they deserved to win. We weren't good enough, and yeah, that's one of those that they happen from time to time. Unfortunately, Skoko wasn't available to play this one. I forget if he was injured or what happened to him, but he always just destroys Hajduk, where we got him from, of course. But yeah, on this occasion, that was not to be. So we dust ourselves off, we go again, and it was Bordeaux, who are in all sorts of relegation trouble. We took an early lead when Kovacic crossed for Bertic. And it was 2-0 when Ranocchia picked out Kozayev, before Kovacic's cross was deflected in for our third, and Kozayev smashed in a fourth. Montel picked out an unmarked Holt to make it 5-0, before Kovacic got our sixth. So we remembered how to score in this one, which was nice. Didn't do Bordeaux any favours for their relegation battle. I think as that, because obviously they're our feeder club, if they do go down a division, we can pretty much loan them as many players as we want. Because they're in the same division, we can only do 3 right now. Now, in truth, we've only loaned them 2 players this season. So yeah, if they do go down, I think overall it might actually be a better thing for us and probably for them, to be honest. Look at all these free players. Next game to catch you up on was Gorica. Bertic gave us an early lead, but Gorica pulled level before half-time. Lako crossed for Bertic to restore our lead, before Kovacic picked out Siraj for our third. So we dominated almost the entire game, apart from probably the 2 or 3 seconds it took for them to score that goal. We were well on top. So it was actually a very, very good performance from us, and 77% possession. Yeah, I don't know. It's actually disappointing that they scored, and it was confusing at half time as to why we were level, but we got there in the end. Another 3 points on the board, and the final game to catch you up on before this game against Osijek is against Slaven Belupo. We took an early lead when Rupnik crossed for Siraj, and Bertic smashed in a second before half-time. Slaven Belupo pulled one back early in the second half, before a counter-attack was finished by Medzar to restore our 2-goal lead, only for Slaven to cancel it out, before Perso picked out Medzar's run to seal the points. So a few really, really good goals. This was the opposite of the which game was the bad one? The first one. This was a really, really good game of football. We always seemed, in control, although they didn't really go away. But yeah, nice. That last goal was really pleasing. Medzar and Persto, of course, two of the young academy graduates. Yeah, nice to see those two combining, both off the bench. And yeah, actually Medzar got a double in this, so well done to him. So, league table after all of that. And there it is there. We have gone comfortably ahead. Osijek have struggled a little bit. And yeah, if we draw them today, I think that's it. With goal difference, it's effectively it. But if we beat them, then that's going to be that. Istra's our second game. I'd like to beat them to give Bordeaux a chance. But yeah, I think we need a point, basically, to get this wrapped up. Now, if we look at the league leaders, Osijek, they do score some goals, apparently, because they've got two of the top 3 goal scorers. We have very good average match ratings and lots of assists as well. It's always the right-hand side, Kovacic and Torres. Now, Torres is injured as well, as is Matanovic right now. But yeah, down that right-hand side, that's 19 assists, assuming that nobody else got any playing out there. So yeah, we are decent, aren't we? Pinned up with lots and lots of clean sheets by our standards as well. But let's go win the title. It is a 4-2-3-1 that we are expecting from them. They've got wingers and full wing-backs, and so that means we will be trapping them inside. And this is the team we're sending out. Pinter in goal. It is Sanchez and Butchman as the back two. Kovacic, Sithole, and Rupnik with Zinko, who we're just giving a little bit of game time to, trying to teach him the position. With our youngsters coming through, he needs to either develop or we're going to have to move him on, I think. So yeah, Montel and Zinko, Siraj, Bertic, and Lacko will be the rest of the team. All right, so here we go with the team sheets, and do we recognise anybody in their lineup? Just Nastavic, I think he was ours, but nobody else there. Yeah, I mean they do have a very, very good team. Now we've got some happy players. Sithole is happy. Hopefully, a happy Sithole is a sober Sithole. As I've, yeah, you guys like that comment apparently. Yeah, so it's one of those things I guess that comes out of my mouth. I'm just, as I tell my wife, just naturally hilarious is what I am. And Montel, though, he's happy with his playing time, which was always going to happen. The only reason that these sort of players become unhappy is because we're playing in Europe and I'm trying to save them and keep them fresh for Europe. So yeah, that was never really in doubt, but they're all happy now. Now, they did have the next-gen top 50. Now, I had to write this down, so excuse me while I read my notes. But we had Montel in 14th. We had Pinter, a goalkeeper, in 22nd. I believe he was the top keeper in the Wonder Kids thing. 27th was Masevic. 40th was Siraj. And 42nd was Holt. And our new striker, I believe, was either 15th or 23rd. He was after one of our players, but I can't remember which one. So yeah, that's was that 5. We have 5 of the top 50 young players in the world. As we got Rupnik. Oh, he's offside. Is he let go? Or did Beal? Maybe Jessica played him on. Come on. I think he might be okay. He is okay. So yeah, Beal he's gone with him, and just a bit of ball watching, was it? It was very sharp from Lacko, wasn't it? Good pick out from Rupnik as well. How close was this? Yeah, actually they both played him on. Oh, hang on, that can't be right, because it wasn't the Rupnik pass that stopped on. Anyway, it was given, so that's not really our problem. And yeah, as things stand, we will be champions today. And oh, we've got a free kick here, and Pinter with a save, was it? Yes, good save as well. But yeah, it's good to see, if the more young players that we have that are at that sort of elite level for a young player, what it does mean, of course, is that if we keep them, then these are going to be developing into good players and therefore giving us a good team. But it also means, because we're not really overpaying for anybody, it means that if we do have to sell them on, which at the level we're at right now is probably going to happen to a lot of our players, especially I find in this version of the game where they will just flat out refuse to sign a new contract, which is good. That's more realistic than we've seen, I think, in previous versions of Football Manager. But it certainly is frustrating, and it really does force your hand into sort of selling players that you really don't want to, which again is realistic. So I'm all for it, but it's I say that now, but when I go and have to sell Sanchez or someone because they won't sign a new contract, I'll be singing a different tune, no doubt. But yeah, so that is that. Oh, Butchman, what is that, dude? Oh, tell you what, that's Benny Hill stuff. What a terrible finish. Now, just bear in mind these signings when we get to the transfer special and it's maybe a little quiet. we've done our business in April this year. As I've said before, I mean, partly the reason why I like to try it, you know, when we see players like this that are willing to join, and they were both, and it's 1-1. 1-1 is realistically still enough for us, but yeah, we don't want to draw this, do we? We want to win the title at home against the main title rivals. And it's a decent finish, is it? Yeah, it's a good finish. You got to give them credit where it's due. I'm not even sure, depending on the bend, and it certainly looked like it had bend. I don't even know if there's much Pinter could do about it because it's top bins, and it might have just been a bit of a rocket in truth. Now, what was I saying? I really wish I could sort of pause and just go back and rewind, listen to what I was saying, but I can't, obviously. Here we go with Kovacic, as that is floated in, but punched away. Yeah, now plans for the summer. I think again we will be looking to do a bit of a squad clear out, just get rid of those players that aren't quite going to make it. That's a good ball for Bertic. Bertic doesn't miss those, and Zinko proving his worth. And in first half stoppage time, we are now back in front, 2-1, and as things stand, champions. Nice touch, good ball, good run, great first touch, killed it dead right into his path, and Bertic is a very, very good finisher. The one thing you may have noticed is I switched the roles of Lacko and Bertic around. So Bertic is the deep liar and Lacko is the advanced forward. And that seems to be working for them now, which is a little bit weird because earlier on in the season, it worked the other way around with Bertic as the advanced forward and Lacko as the deep liar. In truth, they're both very good finishers. They both have an attribute of 17 for finishing. We've got Bertic over a free kick now. A goal here would surely kill their spirits, and it's a good save from their goalkeeper. So, yeah, so we'll see what happens in the summer, but I think we do have too many strikers. Now, Kozayev was someone that we signed for 40 grand. I thought we were going to be able to sell him on for a massive profit. That doesn't look like it's going to happen. Now, he's on 8 grand a week, which is a bit of a chunk, and I think what I would like to do is, although he's got some very good goals for us, we've essentially replaced him in the squad. So I think what we'll try and do is sell him on and get get that 50% sell on again, because there is a very good striker in there that could well go for 5-6 million. That's just not going to be from us, I don't think, because probably we just can't give him the game time that he needs to get that sort of transfer value. The other option, of course, is to loan him out for another season. But I'd want to get those wages paid, I think, which is going to limit where we can send him. There may be a Ukrainian club that's interested. Bertic back to Siraj. Siraj whips one in. Everybody has an airhead at it, and it is Lacko at the back post to make it 3-1. And surely now, that is that. Realistically, they would need 3 goals to come back and win. And you would have your doubts that that's going to happen. Just a missed header, wasn't it? Bad missed header. And, yeah, I've got to say, Zinko's looking good this game. Sanchez is taking a little bit of time to settle in as well. There's no worries about us not having complete faith in him to do that. But his match ratings, and you may have noticed, as the goalkeeper comes a long way in truth, does very well to get there. Siraj belts one back in. It looked like a pinball going through the bodies, but it is now 4-1. And that, I'm going to say, is that we are back-to-back champions. And I'd like to think, on this occasion, we're not going to relinquish this. It's a good effort there, but Kovacic got it quickly to a man in space, and it's... you know what? The goalkeeper probably should have saved that. The deflection kind of brought it back towards him. Yes, he's going to be wrong-footed, but I'd like to think my goalkeeper would be able to do enough to just keep that out. You know, it may well be you give up a bad rebound and there's a goal from that, but... yeah, I'd like to think that that's not going to happen. Did Pinter make a save there? It was offside anyway. Do we want to give any youngsters some game time? We can probably just about start doing that. One thing we could look to do now, of course, for the rest of the season is also look to, give youngsters game time. There's another goal for Bertic, his 17th of the season now. Which reminds me as well, we will be voting on your Viewers Player of the Year after this. The plan for the rest of this season basically is we'll do the second game today. and then we'll have the last game of the season and the end of season awards before we go off and do the summer transfer special. There is obviously a big part of me that would like to sort of end the season today. The problem with that is the time that it takes to play through the games, and with cricket season, for my cricket season starting, if I was to do that, we would basically miss an episode this week. And the last game of the season is against Dinamo, so we've got a little bit of a record to try and keep going there as well. So I think there's a little bit. I'm interested in it. Oh, and that's a cracking goal, a really good finish. It's 5-2. So what we've basically done now, where we were winning games 1-0 and sort of scratching results, now we're scoring for fun again. We just can't defend. We are just a very, very frustrating team. It seems like I kind of can get one end sorted out, and then the other end is the problem, and we just keep going back and forth. It's like a game of tennis between attack and defense, which can ever get them sorted out at the same time. And if I can, we'll probably be dangerous, won't we? Because we've got some very good players, young players in all positions at this point. And yeah, well, we'll just kind of see what we can do. But yeah, I don't know. The two centre backs, wing backs, because the thing is, so Sithole, we'll see him here, basically sits back in, and then if they're only playing one man up front, I don't see a sense in having three centre backs there all the time. To me, it makes more sense to have Sithole sitting in front, and cross comes in, and it is a Lacko hat trick. He's 7th. So he only had 7 goals this season. That surprises me. So he would only have had 4 coming into this game. That really does surprise me. I thought he scored way more than that. But it's probably a case of Bertic and Matanovic getting loads of goals. So he probably has less goals than Madzar even, maybe. And certainly Kozayev has got quite a few. So yeah, that's really surprised me. How many does it's not going to show it here, is it? No, because Kozayev has rescued us off the bench quite a few times. But 6-2, and wait for it, here comes the pun alert. That is game, set, match on this season's title. It's been more or less dominance, hasn't it? Osijek certainly put pressure on us early on in the season, but ultimately they just couldn't go with us. And once we're out of Europe and we can focus on the league, I mean, you put this team out week in, week out. I mean, you could have Torres out there as well, and you could mix and match a few. I think we're just too strong for the league right now. So there it is. It's not quite official on this screen, but that is more than enough points with 4 games to go to wrap up the title. So well done, everybody. So Jarun do the double. Of course, we didn't manage to win the cup, but that's okay. That's the Yag's job. They'll hopefully be stronger for it next season. We win another title. We are only 2 away from Hajduk Split. Now, I know Croatia is a relatively new country. Obviously, would have been part of Yugoslavia back in the day. But I'm surprised they've only won 6. Dinamo really does have a stranglehold on that country's league, doesn't it? But there we go. Another win for Jarun. We were favourites at the start of the season as well. And yeah, we let Dinamo have their little spell, didn't we? It's definitely the years or the era of Jarun once again. Lacko was brilliant. And that is that. Klopp wants to look at Pinter. He is not going anywhere. This is the problem we're getting with Pinter now. The secret seems to be out on him, because I think Manchester United had sent a scout to look at him as well. So, yeah, that's what happens when you're the top-rated goalkeeper in Europe or world under 21, isn't it? So anyway, that's all that. Title, celebrate. We'll be back for Istra. Okay, it is Viewers Player of the Year time. So thank you everybody who nominated. It's always greatly appreciated. We have been left with 4 nominees, and in alphabetical order, they are Alan Bertic, who has 17 goals, 5 assists, and an average match rating of 7.22 this season. Dion Siraj is next up. He has 9 goals, 5 assists, and average match rating of 7.03. Then we've got Martin Palumbo, 9 goals, 8 assists, and average match rating of 7.20. And last but not least, it is Hugo Torres, 6 goals, 9 assists, and an average match rating of 7.47. Now, as ever, there'll be a link at the top of the description below. If you go and click on that, it will take you through to a straw poll, and we will announce the winner of the Viewers Player of the Year at next episode's End of Season Awards. Alright, welcome back. Now, we have a Player of the Month award for Bertic, so well done to him. 4 games, 6 goals, 1 assist. That's not bad going for a month of football, is it? So, yeah, well done to Bertic. But it is Istra. We are away from home. We are, let's have a look here. We're expecting a diamond 4-4-2, I guess. Focus play down the middle. Don't know that that's exactly where we want to focus it, to be honest. Anyway, we'll see how the game develops. Now, we have made some changes, as you would expect. So Pulic is going to go in goal. I want to get a good idea of what we can expect from him, if he's an option to stay or if we do need to cash in on him. Crespi, the lesser forgotten centre-back signing, he's going to get a game here with Skolabar, one of course, the youngsters that has come through our academy. Kovacic and Rupnik will continue, as will Sithole. Zinko's going to play as a deep-lying playmaker, with Perso getting the start as the Mazzella. Very, very high potential he is. And then it'll be Siraj, Bertic, and Madzar. He'll get a start, and yeah, he's sort of our highest rated academy striker. So let's see what we get from him. All right, so we can see the team sheets. Do we recognise any former players here? We used to take players from them. We never really gave any to them, so that's that. All right, now this is where I always struggle. I always struggle to motivate a team once sort of the title is gone. So let's see if that works, and if not, doesn't really matter at this point. So here we go. Now, yeah, well, I mean, the idea here as well a little bit is obviously to evaluate certain players, but also give players that. So, for example, Perso's not leaving this summer. He's a good young player. We want to give him time to develop. But someone like Pulic, I know that we have young Kosic out on loan. If you're wondering what Topic is, he's off in the Spanish second tier. Thank you, Istra. Thank you, everybody. He went something like 17, 18 games without scoring a goal. He's got 3 or 4 since then. So he's finally finding his goal-scoring boots. He will always be here because he is obviously a Patreon player. But he may be a cup specialist, I think. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with him. But yeah, just never quite. It was the injuries, wasn't it? Early on, he was always injured. And that I think just hurt his development enough that, yeah, he's still a good finisher, but maybe just the rest of his game is not what it could be. Now, they are expected to be a counter-attacking side, so we've got to be a little bit careful of that. But ultimately, we should be good enough to beat them, although we've already got nervous and anxious and apprehensive players, which is never great. Did Pulic get a save on that? No, goal kick. Post must have saved him. So yeah, these are good games to A, experiment with, but B, to also just have a look at players, give them some game time. Bertic now over a free kick. What I don't want to do is put out sort of a YAG side necessarily and end up with with losses that we could do without. But yeah, it's sort of, I always think it's a bit of a balancing act this time of year. Plus, I always find it difficult to, as I said, to motivate everybody once the title's gone, or won, I should say. So yeah, we did get our budgets for next season. Obviously, we are champions, so we know we're in the Champions League. I'm assuming we'll still be in the Champions League group stage. We'll go straight into it, or league phase as it is now. I wonder how long it's going to take us all, once it actually happens in real life, to stop saying group stage and stay league phase. It's going to be years, isn't it? Surely. I mean, it's been how long since Twitter changed, and I still call it Twitter. So okay, so let's try and be a little bit harsh on them. That wasn't good enough. Get out there and prove that you can do it. Crespi is not endearing himself to me right now. Okay, so it said exploit the middle, didn't it? So let's try that. I wonder if they're a counter-attacking side and they're sitting deeper a little bit. I wonder if we lower that tempo down and just kind of, just camp outside and sort of move the ball around and see if that maybe works for us. Neither of the strikers are particularly doing much. This might have been a good one to get to have Matanovic available, actually. We've got more defending to do. And that is a decent header. Only good thing now is we can tell him to try and fire up. It's his first ever goal for the club. Now, they are pretty much nailed on to be in the relegation playoff. And is that Crespi again? I tell you what, mate. Where are you? I've just about had enough of you. You and your anxious nervousness and then not winning a header. How dare you? All right, Bertic, let's get Lacko. Let's make a double change up front. Hang on, so we probably need to pause this, otherwise it's going to tick away from me too quickly. We'll end up making 2 subs in 2 different times. So Kosic and Kozayev can come on. And let's see if that leads to anything. Kovacic with a throw. Lacko. Back to Zinko. Okay, so let's maybe try and get a little bit better grip in midfield as well. Let's get Bosniak and Skoko. Let's try Skoko a little bit deeper, see what he can do. Crespi. Crespi to Sithole. Sithole goes back to Pulic. Oh, it's not a good pass, is it? I think we're seeing the difference between Pinter and Pulic just here. But we've got a chance now. We've won it back. It's not a great pass for Kovacic, but he's done brilliantly into the middle. Oh, and it's a good save. It's still there for Rupnik. Dude, other side. Just had to tuck it in at the near post. Oh, that's unbelievable. All right, let's try a berating then. If nothing else is working, then I'll scream at you. All right, so Siraj not having a good game. This will probably be our last stoppage, won't it? So let's get Montel on. And what we can do is move Skoko forward. We can see what Montel can do in a different position as well. And then that's just about that in terms of subs. I might have liked to make another one, but anyway. All right, so let's go back to let's just get rid of all of that and just play football and prove that you're better than them. That's all I'm asking you to do. Always a strange one, isn't it, when the titles, well, I don't know if do you guys have this same problem? It's just I just find it really, really difficult to motivate them, because I find if I sort of point the finger and say you must win, then they all get nervous anyway. So it really annoys me. But we've dominated the game. We just haven't done anything with the domination, have we? Probably would have been better off just putting out a team of Yags and getting them all the game experience, in truth. But anyway, let's see if we can get something in stoppage time. We do have a few stoppage time goals this season. Lacko's turned into space. Lacko has stuck it away, and we've rescued ourselves a point late on there. Let's demand more. There's still a little bit of time. It'll be very harsh on them to go and score twice in stoppage time. But look at this from Lacko. Wonderful touch. Turns into space. And Skoko doing his best to be caught offside there. But, yeah, we've done that nicely. Is there anything more? Doesn't look like it. And, yeah, well, I don't know that we deserved a draw there. But we certainly deserved to win, didn't we? We had the chances. But it's been like this. Those sort of 1-0 games that we were having, that's what they were like, where we just couldn't really finish. And, yeah, really, we need to be winning those games. But we'll give them a let off. So it's not enough for Istra, and it doesn't really matter for us. So it's a bit of a nothing result there. They could really have used with going to 28 points with 3 games to play, couldn't they? Otherwise, that's essentially them relegated now. But let's be honest, they're going to that playoff anyway, aren't they? So Lacko rescues Jarun, and yeah, that is all of that. So guys, don't forget to go and vote for your Viewers Player of the Year. Next episode, that's not the button I was looking for. Next episode, we'll finish it all off. I'll get myself out of the way there so you can see. It'll be away to Dinamo, and yeah, well, let's hope we can finish things off on a high. Then we'll have our end of season awards, or goal of the season competition, and life will be good. Until then, guys, I've been Aussie Bell, and thank you so much for watching. Take care.